Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be trying out a game called Archduke. I recently received this and have been kind of testing it out and playing it a bit, and it promises a lot of blending of strategy, memory, and sabotage, and a lot of fun. So we'll see if it lives up to that, and I'll let you know what it's like. So let's see what we've got in the box. Got your rulebook. Got about 104 cards. And this can play up to 6 people. And you've got 24 tokens that you're going to use throughout your 4 rounds. It's a 4-round game. The theme of the game, as the overview says, travel sunrise to sunset in a race through distant sand dunes and uncharted seas. To be the fastest explorer, you'll need to travel light. Use quick thinking, memory, and sabotage to trade your heaviest treasures and arrive first to the land of Archduke. So the artwork theme kind of matches the overall exploration type theme of the game. This is the back of all your cards. Got lots of different things like artwork of lost maps, and got some exotic fruits and rare books. Lots of really interesting artwork. A nice visual presentation of the game. Nice and fancy. Of course, the wood tokens really help add to the aesthetic too. So very nice visuals. Not too cheap on the components. And you've got a range of lots of different cards, all numerically ordered. A lot of them, you've got a lot of action cards mixed in there. Everyone starts the game with 4 cards and a draw deck, and you want to arrange your tokens according to how many players there are. So if you've only got, let's say, 2 players, you're going to make a stack of tokens for each round, and you're going to want 4 stacks of those. The object of the game is ultimately to have the least numerical value of cards and little to no cards if possible by the end of each round. As soon as you think that you are down to that value, you want to say Archduke, and one more round of play will go through, excluding the person who said Archduke. Whoever's got the lowest value will receive the first place token, and the second least value, second place, so on and so forth. And once you've finished the entire game, then you want to tally up everyone's tokens, and the one with the least numeric value of tokens will be the winner. So usually whoever has the most first place tokens. And your tokens will all range from 3, 4, all the way up to 6, depending on how many players you have. So at the beginning of your turn, or at the beginning of the game rather, everyone gets 4 cards, and you don't get to see them or anything. You place them all face down without looking at them. But at the very beginning of the game, you still get to peek at 2 of your cards, preferably the 2 closest to you because that's the easiest to remember. But you can look at any 2, but then you place them back down without you or anyone else, especially anyone else seeing them, and you have to try and remember what's there. Someone is going to be designated to place the first card just off the top of the deck, and if there's been more than one round or you've already played a round, it's going to be whoever's to the left of the person that came in last, and the person that came in last is going to be the first one to take their turn. Anyway, you're going to put the card down, and as soon as it goes down, even if it's a card someone else discarded on their turn, if you know you have a card that matches and you think you remember which card that is, you can, before the next person touches the draw deck or anything to play their turn, you can quickly match one or more of your cards on top of that, and therefore reduce your number of cards, which helps you have a lower numerical value, as all the cards have a numerical value, and that's going to put you in a much better position for coming in first by the end of the round. On your turn, you're going to either take the card off, one of the cards off of the discard pile, which is only worth doing in very certain circumstances, or if you really want an action card. If you see an action card there or anything like that, you're going to add it to your existing column of cards, which is generally a 2x2 square. But if you end up with more than that, whether through penalty or you decide to draw a card from the discard pile or anything else that's going to add to your hand without you discarding, you're going to continue to stack to the right and keep making 2 card columns. But on your turn, generally, what you want to do is you want to draw, in most situations, maybe drawing from the draw pile, and you're going to be either replacing a card that you already know the value to, if you remember what it is, with something of a lower numerical value, or something you simply want to keep for, say, if it was an action card and you want to use it later. Or you can choose to discard a card that you don't know what it is yet, and that kind of gives you an idea of what you have there. But the lower the value on your card, the better that type of gamble is. And then you place it down. Now you have an idea of what you've got there because you've just replaced that with another card. And in this situation, if you happen to discard an action card, you would therefore use that action card throughout the game, or at least at the time that you discard it. You would play that card and perform whatever the action is associated with it on you or another player. And unfortunately, you can only use the action cards if they come from your set of cards. You can't draw one and then discard it and play it. But that just adds a little bit more maneuvering and strategy to the game, so I think it works out pretty well. In this case, I played a peek card, so say I want to see what my one undiscovered card is. I then know the entirety of the cards that I have, and therefore have an accurate knowledge of what my overall numerical value is, which is going to be very useful in determining what I can remember to replace to get to a lower value and continually work my way down or match cards as I go. And in this case, if you see that you have a card that's the same as the card that you just discarded and the other person has not played, like touched the draw pile or anything to start their turn yet, you can then play that card too, and in this case it's another action card, the same as the last one I discarded, and I can therefore use that to peek at someone else's cards even, because now I already know what I have. And so that's kind of a lucky first turn if you get to do all of that, but that puts you on a very, very good path towards being in first place by the end of the game. And before long you might be already saying Archduke before anyone else has a chance to get lower than you. But a lot can happen in a turn, so you kind of have to be careful. So the game does play pretty fast. It's generally a, I want to say 15 to 25 minute game. But yeah, they generally go pretty fast. It's going to go a little bit longer if you have more players, but even then it still flows pretty fast. So I think it's pretty fun, especially for those that prefer card games or fast-paced games, and also helps you strengthen your memory too, so that's an added bonus. Stave off the unusual when you can. So in this case, if I was to say Archduke, then it would go through a round of play, and everyone else would do their turn except me, and then after the last round of play has gone through, everyone tallies up their cards, and in this case my tally would be 8. I would prefer to be a little bit lower than that if I was going to call Archduke, because if someone else has a similar lucky turn or plays an action card on you, such as a give card, that would allow them to give you a card and therefore bring up your numerical value, then you could very much lose that round. And if you call Archduke and it turns out you don't have the lowest value, then on top of what you have to draw a penalty card and add that value to your overall cards, which is going to put you even further down towards a lower, like 3rd or 4th place or 5th or 6th, depending on how many players you have. It doesn't make a huge difference in a 2-player game, because if you're already not coming in first, no matter what, you're going to be coming in second. But the more players you have, the more of a penalty that penalty is going to penalize you.
That penalty is going to penalize you.
Then, after that's all done, you shuffle up your cards and you deal out 4 cards for the next round. You take whatever token is appropriate for which place you came in, you stack it to the right of your cards, and you just keep stacking up your tokens as you earn them throughout the game. So, like so, in the order that you receive them. And there are variations to the game, but we can go over that in a more detailed how to play video. So the pros of the game, I would say, would be it's fast-paced, it helps with memory, it flows really nicely from start to finish, and it's very very good choice for getting on the table in a group of people that want to just get a quick game in, and not too difficult to get a game set up and going. So yeah, it's an excellent choice for a speedy game, especially when you have a lot of people that don't really want to put the time in for a heavier game. I guess the only cons of the game that I would think of thus far is that if you're playing with a group that wants a more heavier type strategy game, then this wouldn't be the choice. But other than that, regardless, it still has good depth and everything. The mechanics are very well thought out, and I really like the way it flows. So, not a heavy strategy game, but it's all you need for a nice lightweight game, and card games do that very well. So, I hope you found that this game is worth trying out, and that you would something that you would enjoy. And it's very fun to play at gatherings stuff where you just want to get a quick game going. So, in my opinion, it's a very fun game, and I've really enjoyed the times that I've got to play it so far, and I'm probably going to end up playing it a lot more. I like games in general, and anything with strategy involved is my cup of tea.
Would you like a spot of tea?
So, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in another video. So now she goes serious. So let's see what's in the box. Stuff. There's stuff in the box. It's everywhere. Bring history to life with this stunning Aztec Eagle Warrior miniature. Perfect for 3D printing for your tabletop gaming or for your collection. Inspired by the fierce and legendary warriors of ancient Mesoamerica, this detailed STL is designed for easy printing and sharp details. Whether you're a gamer looking for unique pieces or a history enthusiast, this Aztec warrior will make a powerful addition to your army. Head to my Etsy shop to get yours today, and start creating your own epic battles. Link in the description below. Don't miss out.